the young visionary of Vienna. Welcome to Vienna, the vibrant heart of early 20th century Europe. Imagine a city buzzing with intellectual fervor, where the echoes of Freud and Adler's groundbreaking ideas still resonated through coffee houses and academic halls. It was in this rich tapestry of thought that a young man, Viktor Frankl, began to forge his own path. Barely out of his teens, Frankl was already grappling with profound questions about human existence, a curiosity that set him apart. He was captivated by psychoanalysis, devouring texts and engaging in passionate debates. Yet even as he absorbed the teachings of the masters, a subtle dissonance began to emerge. Frankl sensed something missing, a deeper dimension to the human psyche that neither Freud's focus on pleasure nor Adler's emphasis on power fully addressed. Whispers and theories circulated in Vienna's intellectual circles about this promising young doctor, some praising his brilliance, others questioning his unconventional leanings. He dared to challenge established giants, politely but firmly, laying the groundwork for what would become a revolutionary approach. His personal dilemmas, the silent struggles and aspirations of a young man on the cusp of discovery, fueled his relentless pursuit of a new understanding of the human spirit. The first steps of logotherapy and personal challenges. As Frankl delved deeper into his studies, the initial outlines of logotherapy began to take shape. He was proposing a radical idea that the primary motivational force in humans is a striving for meaning, not pleasure or power. His early clinical experiences, often with patients suffering from existential vacuums, provided fertile ground for these concepts. Picture him in his modest consulting room, attentively listening, his mind always seeking the underlying sense of purpose in each narrative. But beyond the theoretical advancements, Frankl's own life was far from serene. He faced the universal challenges of a young professional trying to establish himself in a highly competitive field. There were moments of self-doubt, financial strains, and the inherent struggles of balancing an intense academic life with personal aspirations. He navigated the complexities of relationships, the quiet heartbreaks, and the small victories that color any young life. These weren't grand public dramas, but the deeply personal, often unseen dilemmas that test character and resolve. They were the very human experiences that subtly, yet profoundly, informed his understanding of suffering and the quest for meaning. What are your thoughts on Frankl's early struggles and the beginnings of his groundbreaking work? Have you ever felt a similar pull towards finding deeper meaning in your own life amidst personal challenges? Share your reflections in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video, where we'll continue to explore stories that transform. The rise of Nazism and shadows over Vienna. The vibrant intellectual atmosphere of Vienna began to dim, slowly but ominously, as the shadow of Nazism crept across Europe. The city, once a beacon of culture and enlightenment, started to feel the chilling grip of political extremism. We can only imagine the growing unease, the hushed conversations, and the creeping fear that permeated daily life. For Frankl, as a Jew, the stakes were profoundly personal. The escalating anti-Semitic policies transformed his world from one of academic debate to one of stark survival. Details from that period reveal a city where neighbors eyed each other with suspicion, where public spaces became symbols of oppression, and where the simple act of living became an act of defiance. The once bustling streets, with their ornate architecture, now felt heavy with an unspoken dread. Frankl witnessed firsthand the erosion of human rights, the systematic dehumanization, and the agonizing choices forced upon individuals. How does one prepare for the unimaginable? How does one maintain hope when the world around them descends into chaos?
These were the questions that haunted Frankl and countless others as the dark clouds of war gathered over their beloved Vienna. Thank you so much for staying with us on this poignant journey. Your continued interest truly means a lot. The best and perhaps most challenging part of Viktor Frankl's story is yet to come. The horror of the concentration camps, loss, and resilience. The year is 1942. Viktor Frankl, along with his wife, parents, and brother, was deported to the Theresienstadt ghetto and later to Auschwitz and Kaufering, sub-camps of Dachau. Imagine the sheer terror, the brutal efficiency of a system designed to strip away every shred of human dignity. This was no ordinary war. It was an assault on the soul. The biting cold of European winter was just one facet of the suffering. Starvation, disease, and the constant threat of death became daily companions. He witnessed unspeakable horrors, the systematic extermination of millions, including nearly all of his family. His pregnant wife Tilly perished. His parents and brother met similar fates. The weight of such loss, compounded by the dehumanizing conditions, would break most spirits. Yet even amidst this inferno, a flicker of his profound theory held true. Frankl observed that those who found a reason to live, a meaning, however small, a memory, a hope for reunion, a task to complete, were the most likely to endure. He clung to the idea of rewriting his manuscript, which was confiscated, and to the faint hope of seeing his wife again. This chapter is a testament to the darkest depths of human cruelty, but also to the astonishing, almost unbelievable resilience of the human spirit. Finding meaning in hell, the persistence of logotherapy. Within the barbed wire fences and watchtowers of the concentration camps, an extraordinary phenomenon occurred. Even as his physical body withered, his mind continued its relentless work. He didn't just survive, he observed. He actively applied the tenets of his nascent logotherapy to his own suffering and to the despair he witnessed in his fellow prisoners. The camps, in a macabre twist of fate, became his most harrowing laboratory. He sought meaning in the smallest acts, sharing a piece of bread, offering a kind word, or simply observing a beautiful sunset. He understood that while physical freedom was gone, the ultimate freedom, the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, remained. He saw prisoners who chose to offer comfort to others, even when they themselves were starving, demonstrating a profound sense of purpose. These small yet monumental acts of humanity and resistance reaffirmed his conviction in the search for meaning. Frankl's experiences in the camps did not destroy his theory. They forged it in the crucible of unimaginable suffering, transforming it from an academic concept into a living, breathing testament to human resilience. Return to freedom and the reconstruction of a life. The liberation of the concentration camps brought not just freedom, but a new, equally daunting challenge, the arduous task of rebuilding a life from absolute zero. Imagine returning to Vienna, a city scarred by war, its familiar streets now bearing the scars of bombs and loss. For Frankl, the psychological and emotional burden was immense. The joyous relief of survival was tempered by the crushing realization that almost everyone he loved was gone. He searched desperately for news of his wife, hoping against hope, only to be met with the devastating confirmation of her death and the loss of his unborn child. The process of readapting to normal life, to a world that had moved on, was fraught with difficulty. He had to reclaim his professional identity, to find a place in a society reeling from its own trauma. What did it mean to be a survivor? How does one reconcile the horrors witnessed with the need to live again? These questions Frankl faced with a quiet determination, channeling his pain into the very philosophy that had saved his spirit. The global birth of logotherapy and its critics. Back in a war-torn Vienna, a phoenix rose from the ashes, logotherapy. He wasted no time in consolidating his theory, culminating in the rapid writing of his masterpiece, Man's Search for Meaning, in just 9 days. This book, a testament to his camped experiences and his philosophical insights, would soon touch millions worldwide. Yet the path to global recognition was not without hurdles. Despite its profound message, logotherapy faced initial skepticism and criticism from established psychological schools. Debates were heated, with some questioning its scientific rigor or its focus on meaning over other human drives. Frankl, however, stood firm, tirelessly lecturing, writing, and defending his principles. He encountered